All right, let's get into gas taxes because on Wednesday here in the state of Washington, your state level gas taxes are going up again. This is an automatic inflation indexed July 1 tax hike. And this is based on a bill that passed in 2025 and was signed into law by Governor Ferguson. Um, it's only 1.1 cents, so it doesn't seem like a lot. But that brings the total per gallon excise tax to 56.5 cents. We've got, of course, a lot of other taxes. We've got federal taxes, we've got our CCA, our Climate Commitment Act taxes that are in effect. We pay the third highest gas taxes in the nation. So I spoke with Mountain States Policy Center's Transportation Policy Fellow, Bob Pinchue, about this. He has some details about what will hit you come Wednesday.
So last year, elected officials, and it was signed by the governor, passed a bill, a transportation funding bill that included an automatic increase in gas taxes. So typically in the past, when elected officials wanted to, build a bunch of projects, they then put out a project list and then also, the taxes necessary to fund that list. Instead, what's different about the gas tax increase this year is that it's automatic. There are no new projects that they have to, sell to the voters to agree to a tax increase. It's now a tax that it will be occurring every single year to just automatically raise the fuel taxes that Washingtonians pay every time they fill up.
Now, again, this increased state gas tax comes on top of the federal gas tax that we pay of 18.4 cents and carbon fees that are paid by us drivers for the Climate Commitment Act. That's about 52 cents right now, I'm told. Supporters of this, of course, say that we need to adjust this regularly for inflation. But opponents say, if we're going to increase the state gas tax, it's supposed to only go to fund projects. Show me what the projects are and let voters decide whether they want to raise their gas taxes for that. Because despite the high gas taxes that we pay here in the state of Washington, our highways and bridges, if you're a driver, I don't have to tell you, are in a state of disrepair. In fact, according to the most recent report from the Reason Foundation, who studies all the states as far as their repair and cost effectiveness, what you're paying in, what you're getting out, bang for your buck on gas taxes, we're near the very bottom of the barrel.
Washington, a recent report from the Reason Foundation, they put this report out for more than 2 decades, analyzes, different states, how their approach to transportation spending and the results from that. And Washington continues to rank pretty low in terms of spending and of road quality. And so Washington ranked 48th in the country. So not too good of results for Washington. The other point is that the new one of the new mechanisms here, this automatic increase, doesn't have that accountability built into it that you kind of mentioned. Typically taxpayers can go, hey, I'm going to be paying more, so will I see the results on the road that reflect those higher prices, and they can judge whether or not they support it or don't support it. With this new legislation, it's an automatic increase. So that accountability measure is sort of absent, and that's one of the things that we've highlighted that's wrong, or that's potentially troublesome about these automatic increases is that there's a little bit less accountability than we've seen in the past.
Now, according to AAA Washington, the average gas price today in the state of Washington for unleaded is $5.19 a gallon. It's $5.58 in King County. And our poor friends up in the San Juans always pay the most in the state. They're beholden because they are islands. So once the gas gets there, you're kind of out of luck as far as, going to the cheaper gas down the street. I don't think they even have any Walmarts or any other Costcos. Do they have Costcos in the islands? I really doubt they do. That's where the rest of us drive around to find cheaper gas, right? Um, that is going to continue to be an issue. And also interesting, and I'm going to be writing an article about this either later this week or maybe because it's the holiday shortened week, it'll be next week. But the Eastern Washington and Southwest Washington communities that are driving into our neighboring states to get gas instead of filling it up here. I would do it too. If I lived in Vancouver and say worked in Portland, or I worked in Spokane and I drive across the border into Idaho to fill up. I looked this up. Now, Idaho's gas prices today are 4.72 a gallon. And if you can drive into Idaho and fill up, it's even cheaper, 4.11 per gallon on average today, again, according to AAA gas. And we've got school districts in Eastern Washington that are now fueling their entire fleet, their school buses, up for diesel across the border line into Idaho. So we raise the gas price here, but are we getting any increased tax revenue from that? Maybe not, because more folks then are going to drive across state lines where it's cheaper if it's also convenient for them to do so. So that's something to keep in mind. Policy planners might want to keep that in mind.